Hi friends, I'm Victoria. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today it's starting off another reading vlog. It's Friday, so every Friday I usually start a new reading vlog, and this week I think I'm going to read some more spooky, haunting kind of books. I don't know if that's the total theme, we'll see, but I have just started this morning The Narrow by Kate Alice Marshall, and so far I'm really liking it. It's actually a YA horror thriller suspense. But we have these girls that are at a boarding school. So they have been there, going there for quite a few years, and it's their final year before they graduate. And it starts off with these girls going to this place called The Narrows. And The Narrows is essentially like this body of water behind their school, and it's kind of like tradition before the school year starts, before your first day of school, you jump in. Now, the thing about The Narrows is there is this area that if you jump in, it kind of funnels in and will suck you in and you can't get out. And only one person has ever survived jumping in The Narrows. So our main character, Eden, school's about to start. She gets called to the dean's office and they let her know like they're having issues with her payment. They haven't received any payment this year yet, and her family is very wealthy. They're just not very good with money, and her brother has recently been charged with something. I don't know what it is yet, but he has been charged with something, and his parents have had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees to keep him out of federal prison. So they don't have the free cash right now to pay for her school. So as an option to stay on campus and finish out her final year with all paid in tuition, there is a program by this one woman who donates a ton to the school, and she actually has this estate and home near the school, and she every year offers a scholarship to someone to come stay in the house and help out, kind of thing. So that's what our main character Eden is doing. Now this house is actually the home of the one person that has survived jumping in the Narrows and getting swept up in the Narrows. And her name's Delphine, and she was at one point friends, or kind of knew Eden and that group of girls. Now Eden and her other friend, I can't remember her name right now, but one night before school started a couple years prior, Eden and her other friend were out at the Narrows about to jump, and they see this other girl, Delphine, and they're like, oh no, she's too far to the side, she's not gonna be okay, like she can't jump from there. But she does jump. She gets sucked into the Narrows. They don't know what to do. They think she's gone, and they're kind of just like debating, what are we supposed to do? We could have saved her in there. And then while they're like trying to figure out what they're gonna do, they see her. She has survived, and they're shocked. And she comes back to their room because they're all in like the same dorm. And the next morning, Delphine, she seems okay, but they're like, we saw her jump in, we saw her go. Like, did we imagine that? What was going on? But they say that she comes in, she has tea and like a croissant or something, like she's gonna have breakfast, and then she just like drops down and is unwell. So they call the cops. Coming to find out, she is now allergic to water, like any water that's not like distilled, very like clean of impurities kind of water. And she lives in this house near the campus. She's supposedly still getting schooling, and that's why her mom like bought this house and has donated so much and wants her kid there, because she believes that it's like an amazing education and she wants that for her daughter. So Delphine lives in this house in this one area. There's lots of rules, like you can't bring out any outside clothes or shoes, like for fear of impure water being on your clothes or mud or something, and like all these steps you have to take to be careful, because she's allergic and she can die. So very interesting and unique, kind of weird, but I like it. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. But there's like these rules, like you have to leave the store locked at all times, especially at night, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, come to find out, the person who was supposed to have that scholarship already for this year had something happen to her where she like fell into the pool on the premises and almost did not make it. And so now she just like is not even going back to the boarding school. She's going to like a public school at home. She would not go back, and that's how Eden has been able to get this scholarship like so last minute. So I don't know what's going to go on. It is YA, so I'm sure it's going to be a little bit silliness, but I'm excited. I don't know if it's like haunting, ghosts, what, but I love the idea of the Narrows. I think that's super smart. I love that we're at a boarding school, and then we also have this weird house that has like all of this grandeur, and it's an estate. They also said that they pulled in this, like they have their own plumbing system and everything, so that all the water coming into the house is distilled, or safe enough or safe for Delphine to, you know, be around. It's just a very interesting premise, and so far I have to say I am liking it. I'm just a little bit of the way through, but I can't complain, honestly. Pretty good for the atmosphere and the setup so far. We're going to emo night tonight with some friends, but that doesn't start till 9 p.m, which I'm like, oh my gosh, that's rough. That's late. So it's gonna be a late night. And you know, at 7:30 we're gonna go to my friend's house and kind of like get together and pregame. Well, I say my friend's house. She lives in my apartment complex, so she is literally my downstairs neighbor. So I'm gonna go down there for like an hour or so before we head to emo night. So yeah, I don't really have anything until I need to start getting ready at like, I don't know, like 6. I'm gonna be reading today. I really wanted to go on a walk. Like I actually got ready to go on a walk outside, and then I took Jasper out and before I went, and then because he doesn't do good on longer walks. He's kind of old now, but it's so hot. It's like almost 90 degrees. So that's a big bummer. I'm just having lunch right now, but having vegan chicken patty and salad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna read, I guess. So yeah, super eventful. And then tomorrow morning we have a super early brunch. So I can't get too crazy tonight because we have brunch at 10 a.m. with some of our friends, you know, that I've known my whole life. We're pretty much sisters, and they're coming through Denver. So we're gonna go get brunch with them at 10 a.m. before they drive back to Tennessee. And who knows, we'll see. I don't know how eventful this weekend's gonna be. I really hope that Sunday, I think it's just gonna be like cozy and lazy, because having plans 2 days in a row is a lot for me, honestly. I think I've mentioned this before, but typically me and Drew have like this thing where we're like, we make plans one day of the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have like one plan with people, and then the rest we're just like lazy and cozy. So I don't know if anyone's like an extroverted introvert like I am. I'm probably more on the introvert area, honestly, but like it's a lot for me to like go out, especially like emo night, being a show, loud music, like all of the sounds and lights. Yeah, it's a lot for me. So we'll see. I hope that I can get through the Narrows by tomorrow night and finish that up and then move on to something else. So yeah. It's actually Sunday now. I didn't vlog at all yesterday. Friday night we went to emo night, and yes, I will say I had too many drinks, and yesterday I was pretty hungover. We had a brunch yesterday with some friends that were in town at 10 a.m. and then after that I just came home and was lazy. I did read a little bit more of The Narrow last night. I got about 60% in, and I will say I do like it so far. I am wishing that the atmosphere was a little bit better, because I was anticipating, you know, we have a boarding school and also like this old manor estate. In my brain, I was hoping that the atmosphere would be out of this world, and we honestly haven't gone very deep into it. There hasn't been a ton of description really, so that's kind of a bummer for me, but that's okay. I still am really liking it. So far, there definitely have been some like creepy, dark things going on. Our main character, she's kind of grappling the abuse that had taken place before school started, and we are hearing about this like right off the bat. She's talking about how she's in pain and her back and like bruises, and how she has to like move a certain way because how she's been injured. We do find out more about that, so trigger warning there. There's definitely some dark stuff going on in that arena. And then we have her now at this house, and her and the girl that's living in this house are having a friendship, and it seems to be like some sort of sapphic romance going on, which I love. And then she started to see this one girl who had drowned in the Narrows and in the 80s or something, and she's trying to like discover what happened with her, if she can save her, and what went on with this woman to like save her soul, basically, because she's like stuck in this, you know, middle ground place, and she is just like a ghost. I really like both of them. I also like Eden's friends. She has like this small friend group of girls, and they all seem really sweet, and I am enjoying them. They've all been like really good friends to each other, so I am loving that so much. There's definitely some creepiness here. I love the idea of this ghost and kind of like helping her solve what's going on and what happened to her. I love that trope, and I am hoping it gets even scarier towards the end. Can't complain. I am really liking it so far. I'm liking it more than Kate Alice Marshall's previous book that's kind of in the same vein. What was it? These Fleeting Shadows, which that one actually had amazing atmosphere. That's like a ghost. We have ghosts on this estate. There's lots of layers to it, and I enjoyed it, but I had some issues with it for sure, and I am liking this one more so far. She also has a book that is not YA called What Lies in the Woods that I read a few months ago, and I loved that one. I thought that was really good. It's not YA, so it's a totally different feel, but it was really good too. So I'm excited to see where this goes and how it ends up. I'm hoping that I am surprised by the twist and what had happened to this ghost and what ends up happening. So yeah, I'll update y'all later. Okay, friends, let's talk about The Narrow. Overall, I really liked it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. For a YA horror, I mean, I wouldn't say it was scary at all, but there were some creepy parts. There was a part with a seance, which I enjoyed, and just the full-scale story of The Narrow, these ghosts and these girls entangled in this story at this point in time, I really enjoyed. My favorite part, I think I mentioned this earlier, but my favorite part of the whole book was the relationship that these girls had. I just think that it's so easy when it comes to YA books that they add in some sort of like catty girl drama, and they did not do that in this book. They had a few tiffs here and there, but it was like nothing silly, and I greatly appreciated that. And overall, they were just super good friends and supportive and like a really amazing found family, and I just absolutely loved it. So much that the last few pages, once everything wrapped up and you know, it was these girls, the last few pages, I teared up a little bit. I don't know, I just loved their relationship. I really appreciated that aspect of this book. And aside from that, I will say what brought this down for me was the atmosphere. At first, there was some atmosphere talking about the school and the water and things like that. But when you have a boarding school and The Narrow where people jump in and it's this scary body of water, and then you have this estate where this girl lives and she has this weird disease and she can't go outside, like the atmosphere for that should have been so much more part of the story, and it just, I didn't get the descriptive details that I was hoping for. Now for some that might not be an issue at all. Just for me, like I know initially off the bat when I picked up this book, that was like the main reason why. And, you know, I still appreciate the story aside from that, and I still enjoyed it, but I was missing the atmosphere a little bit. I also have some decent representation in here, which I liked. And overall, the story of the ghosts and the twist that ends up happening, and there's a shift that happens at the, I want to say like the 80% point that I really liked, and I like that it did that. and because I wasn't sure if it was going to go that way, and it did, and I was really happy with that. I was like, okay, that got a little bit more intense than I anticipated, and I'm glad that that happened. Overall, for a YA horror, I really enjoyed it. I loved all the characters, like I said, and yeah, I would definitely recommend this, especially if you're someone that likes hauntings or ghost stories. For sure, give that a go. It also kind of reminded me of The Others, the movie with Nicole Kidman, a little bit, which I liked, and I absolutely love that movie. I did start Big Swiss, and I've gotten a little bit into it so far. Essentially, we have this girl who, it's not a horror at all, it's just like a contemporary general weird fiction. It's a weird one, but she transcribes therapy sessions. So she works for this one therapist. His name is Ohm, which is like a made-up name, which is so funny. His actual name is Bruce, I think. But and he's, God, so annoying. Like, such a dude, keeps interrupting the people, like super annoying, especially when it comes to women. But she transcribes all of his sessions for him, and so like after the session he'll like email her the file for that one session, and she transcribes it so that he has it all in his notes, which I wonder if this is a real job, because I had never thought about that before. Like, I kind of anticipated like there might be recordings or there might be like a software of some kind where it just transcribes the audio, but I never thought about someone listening to a therapy session to transcribe it, which is like kind of messed up. Like, I would hate that. Of course, like their full name and like intense details are hidden. Like, it might make it harder to like find out who it is, but our girl, she like definitely knows who some of these people are. But anyway, there's this one patient of his. There's this woman who has endured an abuse, and it's pretty brutal. It actually does go into it, so like major trigger warnings there. Major trigger warnings all around. Like, a lot of stuff happens in this book that I was kind of like shocked that it went to that level. So be aware of that. But our patient, she cannot enjoy sex, and she does not have any pleasure while doing it, basically. So I'm like, how do I talk about this without being gross? And our main character is like, her name's Greta. She's like become obsessed with this patient, and she's like wanting to learn more about her. She thinks she's super interesting. She's from Switzerland, this patient is, so Greta, she doesn't know her real name, so she's just been calling her Big Swiss, and she's just like becoming more infatuated with her life and who she is, and she really like wants to get to know her more. And aside from that, Greta, she lives in this weird house with all these weird roommates with this lady who was divorced recently, has just been like a sad, like depressed lady, and they live in this old house, and it's like infested with bugs, which is a very strange area. I don't know if it's like a metaphor for something, I don't know, but like the house is infested with honeybees and then other bugs and so on and so on. And it does go into descriptors about bugs, so if you're someone that's like know about insects, maybe skip this one. But overall, I'm like wondering if this is gonna turn into like a thriller or like what's happening, because I don't think it is, but like the way that it's set up, I'm just like, this is really weird and strange. I'm actually really far into it now. I am like over 50% in. And I will say something happens with the patient and Greta, and I thought that I would be more like excited or highly anticipating it, but I am not, and which is weird. And just like where it's at now, I'm a little bit bored, I will say. But that's just recently started happening, like the last 5%. I'm just like, okay. So I'm definitely gonna finish it, but I'm hoping some weird twist happens to keep me hooked and keep me surprised, because I'm not feeling it right now, which is surprising, because at first I was like, oh, I hope this does happen. And then now that it does, I'm just like, okay. But yeah, now I'm just rambling, and especially when I like don't want to give anything away, it's hard to like explain. But So far, I would say it's like a 3-star. Like, I'm liking it. There's also some really good quotes in here. There's so many things that they say about just people in general and like living life, and yeah, the therapist and like the things that he says and the way that he interrupts and like the way that he talks to women compared to men, so interesting. And then we have Greta, who's like listening and transcribing it, and she's just like, shut up. I'm like, what? Why? Like, stop interrupting her. Like, she's telling you about something traumatic that happened and you're asking her about what her favorite food is. It's like so stupid. Or, oh, you went to Italy, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's so dumb. It's such like a crappy therapist, like full of himself, egotistical dude. I mean, he calls himself a home. So if that tells you anything, I think that tells us all we need to know. So yeah, today, I don't know what I'm doing. It's actually, I don't think I told you, it's Monday now. After I got back from the farmer's market, I was not feeling good. I was having this stomach thing, and I had it all last night too, and I was struggling. Like, I woke up, it wasn't all last night, but I woke up at probably like 4 a.m. and my tummy was hurting. So, don't know what's going on with that, but I do feel okay right now. I think I just need to drink more water. I think I'm dehydrated. But, I am going to probably keep reading. It's actually kind of nice again today outside. I do think it's supposed to rain for the next couple of hours, but I'm hoping that I can go on an outdoor walk and continue listening to Big Swiss, and then I have to take the boys to the vet for like their Jasper. I have to take the boys to the vet at 4:30 for their like yearly checkup and vaccines and stuff. So that's really the most that I have going on today. So yeah, I wanted to say I'm sorry if this isn't the most engaging or exciting reading vlog. I'm just not having the best time this weekend, you know. I feel like it happens to a lot of us, but yeah, not the best mental health time, and I'm kind of struggling, but I'm fine. I'm just like not in the best headspace. And I know a lot of other people are in this position. I was recently laid off, and just like looking for a job right now in this market is awful. Like, it's truly like, it just wears you down. Like, one company I literally had 7 interviews with. Like, it seemed like a done deal. Like, I met with the CEO and the founders, and then they, like, after 7 interviews, they got back to me and they were like, they decided that they weren't going to have that position at all with the company anymore. So it's just like, okay, well, after all that time and just like mental energy spent on all those interviews and just like for nothing, I'm tired. I'm just so tired. But yeah, if anyone else is in the job search right now, I'm sorry. The market really sucks. There's just been so many layoffs, and I was just thinking some of y'all are probably in the same position, and it is not fun. But, you know, I started this channel because, you know, I had all this time. I did get laid off, and I had been wanting to start a channel for a long time, and I had just always made excuses for it. And, if anything, it made me do that, so that's exciting. I can't believe I literally have like 50 subscribers. I know to some people that might sound so silly, but it's shocking to me, and I really appreciate that, and I don't know, it's been really nice. So yeah, I don't know, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I just, you know, not having the best day or past week, but something that is the right fit will come to me, and I just have to be patient. And yeah, anyway, all is well. I'm okay. Okay. I do want to say that I am appreciative and grateful of the position that I'm in, because I know that so many other people are in a much worse situation than me. I mean, I'm okay financially, and Drew's doing really well with work. He actually got a big promotion last week, so, you know, I'm happy about that. And I, you know, I luckily don't have to worry about anything financially. So I'm incredibly privileged and very lucky and grateful to be at least in the position that I'm in when it comes to the financial side of it, and that I have someone in my life to help and, you know, is happy to support me. You know, I would do the same for him. And yeah, the right thing will come. And I'm just grateful that I luckily don't have to worry about, you know, keeping a roof over my head or anything like that. Like I'm sure so many people are. So I'm lucky. I am just having a bad few days. Anyway. Hi friends. Okay, so I finished Big Swiss and I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't think it's great. I know a lot of people, especially like on TikTok and stuff, are really loving this one. Giving it 3 stars. It end up where she meets Big Swiss in real life and they kind of spark a friendship relationship. Once that happened, I thought it would be a little bit more exciting. My biggest problem that I have with this is the way that these people talk to each other. The way that it's written in the conversations that these people have are just like not a way anyone would ever speak to each other. And it just feels really unrealistic, and it kept taking me out of it because I was just like, who is talking this way? It felt very pretentious, pretty much. Which I'm sure is exactly what this author was trying to do, and that's fine, but I just hate when the language and the conversations feel like they're trying too hard to say something or be edgy or unique, and it's just a big pet peeve that I have, and this definitely was ringing those alarms for me, and I did not like that. How the story ends up, I do enjoy, and I think that the ending was overall pretty good. And in general, I love stories about unhinged, weird, wild women that are just a little bit strange and a little bit unhinged, and you're just like, why are they doing what they're doing? Or why are they the way they are? Like, this is so strange. And I like that, and that is definitely part of this book, but not even just the women. Like, every single person in this book is like so weird. I wouldn't say that there are some good relationships in here, but the one relationship between Greta and her roommate Sabine that owns this rundown house that they live in, I really do like the relationship. They seem very supportive of each other and understanding, and just they mesh well, and I enjoy them. And of course, there's relationships in here that are totally toxic and not great, but that's the whole point. And overall, it was good. I'm going to give it 3 stars. It wasn't great. I expected more from it, honestly, with all that I had been hearing about it. And I also expected to like it more, just simply because I am a sucker for a book about weird, unhinged women, and it just didn't hit how I wanted it to, but that's okay. I still had a good time. I just felt like it was a little bit too long. I got bored at parts, and the whole pretentious parts of it really were annoying to me, but that's okay. But yeah, that's it for now. Hi friends, happy Tuesday. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better today than I was yesterday, so that is good. But last night, after I finished Big Swiss, I started The Vegetarian, and I am really liking it so far. It's very strange and bizarre. It has taken a total different turn than what I anticipated it being, but I am really liking it. Essentially, we have this woman who has just been a housewife and has lived all of her life just doing what she's told, and suddenly she starts having these visions, and they're really brutal, like visions with blood and murder and things like that, and she associates it with her eating meat, and she's thinking that that is what is causing her bad dreams and these sinister visions she's been having. So she decides to totally cut out meat. And this is actually, I'm not sure if it's in Japan or China or where, but it is in Asia somewhere. And her whole family is like, what is wrong with you? Why have you stopped eating meat? Being vegetarian is still very rare there, but she actually is vegan. So she's not eating any animal products at all. No eggs, no dairy, nothing from an animal. And her husband, we're hearing his POV at first, and he's talking about how she's always been super just submissive and just ordinary, basically. And he doesn't like it. He doesn't like this level of control and then that he could have over her. And he I mean, even though it's like one decision in her life that she's made, he's like, no, because, and even with her family too, they're all like, no, you have to eat meat. What are you doing? And it's very interesting. Like, coming from someone that's a vegan, the conversations that are being had near the beginning of this book are super interesting, and I can totally understand and relate to. But she's going through all of these trials and tribulations with her family and her husband, and they cannot take it. And they like try to force food on her, try to lie and say things don't have meat in them when they do. And it's honestly wild. And then things spiral out of control. Like, her marriage starts falling apart. She starts sleeping with someone else. And it's like, there's like layers here, and it's turned very bizarre. Like, there's definitely like a large sexual area in this book, and so just be aware of that if you're not interested in that. But it does make sense, and I am so far just really liking how it feels like there's a lot of tension and suspense building up. It's super short. I should finish it within the next hour or so. And I'm going to like get ready, put some sunscreen on, and hopefully go for a walk later today. I'm gonna apply for some jobs and do the normal stuff during the day, but maybe in the afternoon go for a walk, because it's actually like a high of like 75 today. So the perfect weather, and I need that. I need a mental health walk. That's what I need. So I will update y'all later. Hi friends. Okay, so I just finished The Vegetarian and I really liked it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I don't think it was perfect, but I really enjoyed it. You know, at first it seems very much like a story about a woman who has kind of had it with her life and just being obedient and living up to everyone's expectations. And it feels like she's really just trying to take control of her life in the only way that she knows how. Let me move to where the light isn't so weird. But and then the middle is kind of like about, I don't know, kind of like giving into your desires, even in how people can like make bad decisions, and sometimes you do things without thinking of the consequence, or maybe you do think of the consequence, but you just like can't not give in, you know? So then it turns into that, and then I feel like the end is kind of like struggling and understanding how things can be hard for people, and after a lot of turmoil and pain and hurt, like trying to find a new found love for life, and being excited about your purpose and where you can go in the future. There's so many layers here. It was a very bizarre story, like very strange, and I appreciated that. The ending is very much left kind of open to interpretation, which I actually liked. And yeah, overall, I can't complain. It's a short one, so I don't want to give a ton away, but I definitely recommend it. I would give it a try. And yeah, I mean, overall, I liked it a lot. Hi friends. Okay, so I went on a walk and now I'm about to make dinner, but I wanted to just film a little outro here for you. Overall, a really good reading weekend. We had The Narrow, which I really enjoyed, 4 stars. We had Big Swiss, which I liked but wasn't my favorite thing ever, 3 stars, and The Vegetarian, which I really enjoyed, and it was weird, but I gave it 4 stars. Overall, I can't complain. Yeah, considering the last couple of reading vlogs, I've had some flops in each one, so I'm happy that this one was overall just good books, and I am so satisfied by that. So yeah, thank you so much for being here and listening to me ramble and following me along this vlog and my reading journey with these books, and I really appreciate it, and I thank you so much, especially if you made it to the end. I'm sure this is a long video. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. That would help me a lot. I am new to YouTube, but if you have any questions or recommendations or read any of these books and have any thoughts, leave a comment below. I would absolutely love to chat. So yeah, thank you so much again, and I hope you have a lovely day.